What's easier to fly, an RC helicopter or a real one? Today we're gonna find out. That is a real Schweitzer 300, and this is the remote control version of that. They are both considered the most difficult aircraft to fly, and I have never flown either one. Let's start with this one. I found this on eBay. Let's open it up. Wow, look at that. Hey, this is pretty cool. It has the same red, white, and blue paint scheme that the real one has. I can see already this one is a multi-engine aircraft. We have one small engine back here, right there, for the tail rotor, and another engine inside there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that other engine motor to do this. The other difference, that's a fully articulating head, and this is, I'm gonna call it a semi-rigid, maybe? That means it doesn't move quite in all the directions that one does. That blades move this way, this way, this way, and that way, all the ways. This one's got a big gear on the bottom here. And this one's electric, that not so much, that one's gas. So that's the difference. Another big difference is that I am not actually allowed to fly this aircraft here, this remote control helicopter, but I am allowed to fly that one here at the airport. All right, so there you go. Hey, I noticed one other difference. This one, the blade spins this way to make it go up, and that one, it spins this way, the opposite direction. Also, the tail rotor here, it's on the other side. See? So it'd be like that. That's not right. Now let's check out the real deal. Before I'm allowed to touch this, there's quite a bit of reading to do. What's different with the remote control version is you just put the batteries in and you just go for it, because really the worst thing that could happen is you crash it and now you're out of a toy in this case. Worst thing that can happen if you crash this, you die. So we have to read, this is the helicopter flying handbook, the FAA. Well, this is Jimmy's version right here. And then this is the pilot's flight manual, the operating manual that has all the checklists and all the stuff about it. And then beyond just reading about 500 pages multiple times, I have spent, I don't know, 400 hours watching YouTube videos about different helicopter flying and all that kind of stuff. Let's just walk around this thing and see what we're dealing with. Let's take a look inside. We got lots of dials. This one's how fast you're going. Brown is the ground, blue is the sky. Keep the blue that way, that's always good. This is how high you are. Carb temperature, we have carb heat here because this is carbureted, so we're gonna be using that a bunch. Pressure manifold, that's how much power you're putting to it. And this is the RPM, and I want to zoom in on this. It's kind of crazy. There is two different green lines, and there's two different needles on this. One is for the engine. You see, that's the one on the outside out here. And when you start it, you have to keep it in this because it's not connected to the rotor yet. But when you engage the clutch to make the rotor spin, then you have to keep it over here in this green. And the same with the rotor RPM. It's going to go up and up and up, and it's got to stay in this green here, which that's, on airplanes you don't have usually two green sections. So that's kind of neat. This right here is our navigation aid. Tells us whenever we're flying by instruments only, we can navigate by that. This is how fast we're going up and down. This is our coordination. So if we're turning like this, or making a nice smooth turns and things. This is our clock. You have to have that for instruments so you can time different parts of your flying so you know where you're at when you can't see the ground or anything. Then we got engine stuff over here. Gas, oil, amps, all that kind of fancy stuff. Clutch, engage, hold, release, we'll leave that, that's there. This is your fuel shut off. Pull that out, it gets really quiet. It's time to land. Let's see, this tells everybody where we're going, where we're at. This shows us where we're at and where we're going. And I think that's about it. Oh, flight controls. So this right here moves the rotor this way. So if I go that way, it tilts the blades where I want to fly that way. If I go this way, tilts the blades this way, tilts the head this way, and then back, tilts it back like this. This is the collective. And this makes all of the blades change angles all at the same time. So it'd be like an airplane pitching up or pitching down. When I go like this, those blades pitch up to try to make the nose or the leading edge of the blade go up, so you try to go up. And then when you put it down, they go flat, so you go down. Kind of basic. Rudder pedals right here. Now these are not rudder pedals, they're rear tail rotor pedals. So when I push, go ahead and, when I push on that like that, or push on the other one, what that does is it changes the angle of the blade on the rear tail rotor, just like the height, it lifts or goes. So when they're like this, it makes the tail want to swing out like this, and when I go like this, the torque of the helicopter engine will let it come back this way. So that's what those do. And you're trying to do all three of these things at the same time, so you basically better be a good drummer. Now let's look at the control stick here. This one is called the cyclic. This top hat is for trim, so if we flip the battery switch on, everything else is off. Make sure nothing accidentally goes, okay. It should. When I go like that, it actually moves the stick. How cool is that? Here, go ahead and take a look down here. Get on that side. This little motor right here. And you can see the nut on top move when I do it. And then it pulls it out, pulls it in. And then when I do it the other way, there's another motor over here that does the same thing that makes the stick go forward and backwards. That's pretty neat. This right here, this little switch, it's the headlight switch. So there you go. I don't think this thing has a speaker in it. Here, I think we may have to listen to that. Yeah, you gotta wait for that thing to power up. Okay, while we're waiting, this switch up here, it actually doesn't work. It's the only switch or only thing on the entire aircraft that I've found that doesn't work, and it may just be because there may be something somewhere that I don't know about, but you're supposed to be able to flip this, and it flips. There we go. See how it changes that channel? That's supposed to be what this switch does. And you go up for the comm and back for the navigation. That way you don't have to take your hand off the stick. And this trigger right here, I was disappointed when I found out this was not Airwolf and that wasn't for rockets. It's actually just to talk to people. So let's see if they can hear us. Let's 2305, okay. Plant City Unicom 205 Sierra Lima radio check. And they got us. You do the 2 clicks as a way to say thank you. Gotcha. Roger that, thank you. So that is what all this stuff is. And then this down here, now here's something that's pretty cool. It's got a push button start. This button right here, I am not going to touch it. That is the starter button. You push that down and that's a starter. And this has got like a motorcycle throttle on it, so you can go vroom, 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 like that. However, whenever you're not connected to the rotor blade, that RPM goes up and down like that, and in less than a quarter of a second it'll go wing, and if it goes past that red line that we were talking about right there, yeah, that's super expensive, and you have to shut it down, and then you got to get a mechanic to come out and inspect a couple of parts back there because you oversped the engine and the stuff that flies around. Speaking of that, let's go back and look at the stuff that flies around. The heart of the beast is the engine down here. Come on down, take a look. Powered by a Lycoming IO 360. Well, it's not an IO, it's just an O, which means opposed. They go like that. 360, 360 cubic inch out of this thing right there. It's surprising how much cubic inch displacement we got, because there is no replacement for displacement. Oh yeah, America. Yeah, we got the engine, 180 horsepower coming out of this jewel right here. It's got the transmission back here, bunch of fuel lines and other stuff over there. This is the heater that I get for it right here. Nope, just kidding. That is the airbox, the intake for it. We'll edit that part out. So there's the gas tank right here, talking 35 gallons. Goes through about, what is this thing anyway? Is it 10 or 12 gallons an hour or something like that? Not much. Like on any good Volkswagen, we have an air-cooled fan right here. That cools some of the engine. This is our drive belts right here. Yeah, here, come around and check this out. So this is what puts tension on it. It moves this thing back, and as it, I don't want to move it back too far, I'll switch it on here in a second, but as it moves back, it puts tension on these belts so that the engine that's turning right there will then start turning this thing. And you'll notice it goes one way, but not the other way. Because, that's dirty, if the motor and the rotor were all going together, locked in good, but then your motor died, well, you don't want your propeller blade to stop spinning all of a sudden. So they put this little one-way clutch in here, like a go-kart basically. So that thing will keep on spinning even if this motor dies. Because I've learned one thing from all of the airplane training and everything that I've done is all of your training and all of the way everything is built is to lessen your chance of dying. It's pretty much how all this stuff is made and all the training is done. Here, let me power this on and I'll show you the clutch. Check that out. It's turning this little servo motor right here. This little thing is going right here, which has a cable on it, which is pulling up on that, which has a pulley down there, which then pulls this, and check it out, it's putting tension on it. And this is spring loaded, so that when it has just the right amount of tension, that should be in line with that. Oh yeah, there it goes. Now it's putting tension on it, and perfect. It's within that line right there, just like we want to see. And now we got all of our belts are nice and tight, and that is turning that. And the really crazy thing is this safely can operate on only half of those belts. So it's got 8 on it now. If you cut 4 of them, according to the book, this thing should still work perfectly fine. All right, let's take it off. How neat is that? This belt drive system is all connected right here. And come here and I'll show you. So we have to, well, unfortunately I can't turn the propeller blade in-house, but you see this black line right here? And you see that black line right there? When we go outside, part of our pre-check is to turn this until it's lined up, and then we have to go on the back side and check back there to make sure this drive shaft is not twisted, because that would be a bad thing. Then they have a little peephole right here. Can't really see down in there, but down inside this little peephole flashlight is a bearing that you got to check as well. It's got a little carrier bearing right here. We have our fin, and this is, if you'll notice, it's not straight. It's sitting like this. And these two, frankly, don't do anything until the helicopter gets moving forward. And then as it gets moving forward, you need less and less of this, because then it's operating more like an airplane wing. So that keeps the tail straight behind it. Kind of neat. This is called the stinger, because it looks like a bee stinger right here. And this is supposed to be to protect this right here from the ground. And if we look underneath, we can see if somebody has kneaded it before. So let's just take a look underneath here. Oh, yeah, it looks like it's touched the ground lightly once at least. Little paint scuff. So I got it from Garrett, from Cletus. So Cletus, I'm just saying, you were the last guy to fly this, so did you tail tap this thing or what? this thing moves this way and this way. You saw it move the other ways. This right here, you don't. Little funky light that also sends out a signal to everybody in the world telling them where we're at. Danger. Wait, this should be the... What? That's funny. Let's go fly this little guy right here before we hop in and try to fly this thing. Do you think I'm going to crash it on the first try? Yeah. Silas, you think I'm going to crash it?
Second try.
Second. Okay, he's got more faith than me. I think it's going down. But I've got my Australian, my Outback hat on, and my aviators, and my, pilot mustache, so. And I wore the appropriate shirt for this. You know what? Let's just turn it on and head out to the field and see how this goes. Okay, I'm all nervous. All right, here we go. Okay. All right. Okay. Here we go. The tail rotor's cutting the grass. Here we go. All the way. Nope. This thing doesn't even have enough power to get off of the ground. What? I charged the battery all the way up. Come on. Ready? Really? Okay, this is gonna go well. Fly! Nope, auto rotation down. What? Let's just move on to the real helicopter. Talk me through what we're gonna do today.
All right, so basically today, Jimmy, what we're going to do is we're going to do hover work only. We're going to use the flight controls, and that's the collective, the cyclet, and the anti-torque pedals, sometimes referred to as rudder pedals by an airplane pilot, but you're not going to tell me that. It's anti-torque pedals because it compensates anti-torque. So we're going to go through a building block technique. We're going to start out with just the pedals only while we're hovering. Then we're going to go back to the cyclet and use that hovering. Then when we do pedals and cyclet, it's a combination. So we want to increase your level of proficiency and skill while we're doing this. All hover work today. No flying around in the air. It's all hover work. You got to master the hover work before you can get in the air. Because as they say, takeoffs are optionals, landings are mandatory. You're not scared, are you?
I'm more excited because I've been waiting. I've had this helicopter staring at me in the hangar for a month or so.
I think your shirt says it all.
Yeah, well, intentionally I wore that.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, why not? So
okay, well, we'll go out and have fun. Good deal.
The most important is the lap belt. Make sure it's as tight as you can get it. Because with the doors off and something happens, you lose a tow or a hover and it starts spinning, you'll be halfway hanging out.
You just get slung out of this thing?
Yep. Start.
Once we finally finished our checklist, it was time to start the engine. And throttle is closed. I'll give it a couple primers. 1, 2, 3.
Close it and open it just about 1/8 of an inch. There you go. All
and
right.
Clear.
Look out!
Like I said, let's work on the toy helicopter first. Okay, here's what I did. This was the old battery pack piece of junk. So I went to the hobby store and I bought 2 LiPo batteries here. And don't look at my jumpers, but we did that, and the plug does plug into this. In theory, we should have a little more power and a lot less weight because these LiPos are much smaller than this. So, if my math is correct, this will give us the best chance of this thing flying. So let's turn that on. Turn that on. Okay, nothing. Clear prop. All right, okay. Oh, yeah! Okay, let's put the thing on this and go outside and see how long this lasts. Something else I just realized as I lifted it up, the batteries are so much lighter that I think we're going to have our CG is going to be aft here. So we're going to need to shove extra weight in to get it there. That's a little bit better. Okay. Yeah, this is going to work. Any bets on how long this thing is going to survive? If it's even going to fly right now. Whoa! It's gone. It's in the tree. Son of a mother! It went in the tree!
I told you to go in the tree.
I couldn't control it. Ugh.
Let's see where it is.
It went way up in the tree.
Right there. Oh, that's it. Not that far. It's like a long.
Oh, man.
Dad, here.
I mean, really, who's really surprised that this happened? It just took off going like that. I knew it was going to be fine. Okay, I'm glad I did this for you because I wanted to teach you a valuable lesson in helicopters. Always know where the wind is coming from.
So,
Lesson 1. All right, I think that's enough lesson for today. And tomorrow we take our first training flight in the real 300. Let's go. This time, it'll work.
Look out!
There we go.
Alright, helmet gloves on.
Alright, we get 27, clear right, and clear left. Alright. And I want you to stay on the controls with me. I have the flight controls. I want you to stay on the controls. See the override, you see the correlator kicking in just a little?
Yeah.
Alright, so we'll get it light here. About 20 inches it's going to start getting light. And what I do here, nice and easy. Gonna pick her up here. And just a little input here. She's way up there. She's not bad on power. Okay. And we're gonna hover over here, just stay with me here.
Right there.
Now when I get on grass, you're gonna lose some induced flow because it's not a concrete. So see how the manifold pressure increased just a little?
Yeah.
Now when I get over here, let me get over on this side, get way out here. Oop, there we go, just a little here. And where's our wind from the left, I think?
Yep. Coming in that way.
Let me just feel her here and see what she feels like. Feels pretty good. Let me land her here. Now pick her back up. Okay. All right. You have the pedals only.
I have the pedal.
You have the pedals.
All right.
Get the feel of it there. I want you to face it where we are right here, about 040. Hold that right there. That's the pedals. You just hold the pedals. Okay, now I want you to turn 90 degrees to the left.
90 degrees to the left.
Yep. Kind of walk the pedals, a little input in, a little input out. Keep on pushing. There's a crosswind here. You feel how it's stopping?
Oh, wow.
So now you got to push it a little bit more. Input in, input out. Those pedals should be kind of moving just a little. There you go. You see, you feel the crosswind?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's release the pressure on the left pedal slowly, and we're going to come back around to the right. Just release it. You can release a little more, and it'll turn into the wind. You see that?
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't take much.
It weather vanes right away.
Yeah, it does. All right. Let's get a heading of 090. Okay. I have the pedals. I have the controls. Now I want you to.
have the pedals,
I'm going to get a little higher. I want you to take the cycling.
I got the cyclic.
All right. Put your feet on the pedals. You're going to feel it through. You have the cycling.
I've got the cyclic.
Okay. All right. Easy input in, input out. Don't try to master it right now. Just try to keep it in the same area. Feel the oscillation starting? Remember I said it's oscillated, freeze the controls. Okay, get it back under control.
This was far and away the most challenging part of flying a helicopter. I didn't think I was moving the controls very much, but just watch when he puts his hand on the controls, how much they don't move.
So what you're doing is you're a little over controlling a little. Stay with me. I'm going to get on the controls with you. All right. All right. You see how I'm doing it? See that? All right. Try to mimic that. That's good. Very good. Everything's slow and easy, so you get the feel of it.
I think I just need to relax a little bit. I'm all tensed up.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what you got to do.
All right, just relax.
I want you to maintain the position of the helicopter. Try to keep it level. And we're doing a little PIO here, pendulum. That's kind of just freeze the controls. All right. I want you to get on and stay with me.
All right.
Now you feel the difference on my control input and your control input?
Oh yeah.
You're overcorrected. You're doing this.
Yeah,
Okay, you don't need that. Now let me show you what can happen if you do too much over controlling. Okay, here's 3 feet. I'm at RPM. Now watch. I'm not going to change my RPM. I'm going to land the helicopter.
Oh yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
Freeze the controls to come right back up to a hover. That's what over controlling does. Spills lift. Okay, you have it. You have the cyclid.
I've got the cyclid.
Okay. I want you to take the pedals now.
All right.
You have the pedals and the cyclid.
I've got the pedal.
And just try not to compute it. Just say, I want to hold this heading right here and maintain my position. Nice and easy.
What I began to understand is that when I would try to move the controls to go this direction or to do that thing, it would be way too much. What I had to do instead was use the force and just think about going over there, and then it would just kind of happen. Or I would try to think about turning this way, or just move my head, and then just magically this helicopter would start doing it. But anytime I had to physically or decide to move the controls, it was always way too much.
Okay, so as you're sitting here, I want you to put your hands and flight controls on everything.
Here goes nothing.
All right. You ready? You have all the controls, and I'm going to monitor, okay?
All right, I've got
You have the flight controls.
I've got all the flight controls.
Okay. Let's get a little bit of height here, just a little. Easy. Don't get staring down here. Just get under control. Look outside. Glance down. This is all you're interested in right now. That's not. You lowered the collective some. There you go. A little higher. Just a little higher. There we go. There we go. Jimmy's doing it after 35 minutes. Getting there.
This went on for the rest of the morning, then we broke for lunch quickly and hit it again in the afternoon, and then we were done for the day.
Okay, now aim that direction. RPM. There you go.
I couldn't believe that I was the one flying the helicopter at this point.
Okay. Now come down. There we go. Down to 2,000. Okay, go ahead and start pushing everything on.
Hi, boss man. How was it? The first, how long were we out? How long were we out for?
45 minutes, and from the first 15 minutes, I thought I had my work cut out, but after 45 minutes, Jimmy did extremely well. We could pick the helicopter up, hover, and land it, even on a ramp.
There you go.
I'm impressed.
I am exhausted, and I'm sweating a lot. Who knew flying a helicopter would be that much of a workout? Wow.
Good job. You did an outstanding job. Very good. I with all my teaching experience and everything, and I've only had 2 or 3 other people that progress from no time in a helicopter in 45 minutes be able to take off, land, and do circling maneuvers and hovering maneuvers and good RPM control. Good go.
I'll take it.
And I know how to drive my car. And then
That does not do anything.
How are you flying that thing better than me?